Once upon a time, in the heart of the great forest, there lived a small, white cat named Snow. Her fur was as pure as freshly fallen snow, and her eyes sparkled like twin emeralds. Snow was no ordinary cat. She was known throughout the forest for her courage, wisdom, and kind heart. The great forest was a magical place, filled with towering trees, babbling brooks, and creatures of all kinds. It was a place where the sun's rays danced through the leaves, casting golden patterns on the forest floor, and where the moonlight painted everything in silver at night. But the forest was not without its dangers. Deep within its shadows lurked creatures that even the bravest animals feared. Snow had lived in the forest for as long as she could remember. She had no memory of where she came from or how she had arrived in the great forest. One crisp autumn morning, as Snow was padding softly through the forest, she heard a faint cry for help. It was coming from the direction of the crystal stream, a narrow river that wound its way through the forest. Snow bounded toward the sound. When she reached the stream, she saw a small, brown rabbit struggling in the water. The current was strong, and the rabbit was being swept downstream. Without a second thought, Snow leaped into the water and pulled the rabbit to the shore. The rabbit coughed and sputtered as Snow gently laid it on the grass. "Thank you," the rabbit whispered, its voice trembling. "I thought I was going to drown." Snow smiled softly. "You're safe now. What's your name?" "I'm Hazel," the rabbit replied. "I was trying to cross the stream to find food for my family, but I slipped and fell in." Snow nodded. "The current is strong here. Let me help you find a safer place to cross." After guiding Hazel to a shallow part of the stream, Snow bid her farewell and continued on her way. As she walked, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was different about today. The forest seemed quieter than usual. Snow soon came across a group of animals gathered near an ancient oak tree. Among them were deer, foxes, squirrels, and even a wise old owl. They were all whispering anxiously, their faces filled with fear. "What's going on?" Snow asked. The owl, whose name was Orion, turned to her. "Snow, we're glad you're here. Something terrible has happened. The shadow beast has returned." A chill ran down Snow's spine. She had heard stories of the shadow beast, a monstrous creature. "Are you sure it's the shadow beast?" Snow asked. Orion nodded gravely. "There's no mistaking it. Last night, several animals reported seeing a massive, shadowy figure stalking through the forest. And this morning, we found tracks near the edge of the forest." Snow knew she had to do something. "We can't let fear control us," Snow said. "We need to come together and find a way to protect the forest." The animals looked at her, their fear slowly giving way to hope. "We'll find a way," Snow replied. "Orion, do you know of any weaknesses the shadow beast might have?" Orion thought for a moment. "According to the old tales, the shadow beast is vulnerable to light. It thrives in darkness, but it cannot stand the light of the sun or the glow of the moon." The animals quickly got to work. The fireflies and glowworms gathered in large numbers, their tiny lights flickering like stars. The foxes and rabbits dug a deep pit near the edge of the forest, covering it with leaves and branches to disguise it. As night fell, the forest was filled with tension. The animals hid in the trees and bushes, their hearts pounding as they waited for the shadow beast to appear. Snow stood at the edge of the pit, her white fur glowing in the moonlight. Just as Snow was beginning to think the shadow beast wouldn't come, she heard a low growl. Her heart raced as she saw a massive, shadowy figure emerge from the trees. The beast's red eyes glowed like embers, and its claws gleamed in the moonlight.